Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Larson. I'm a licensed psychologist in private practice, and I'd like to share with you 5 things that I wish that more people knew about people with disabilities and chronic illness. The first thing that I'd like you to know is that what you see before you is not the whole story of anyone, really, but especially of people with disabilities. There may be things that are not apparent readily, like deafness or illness that doesn't manifest or difficulties with mobility. And of course, there are things like hand braces and wheelchairs that do indicate that a person has physical limitations with mobility. But when you make assumptions just based on what you see before you, you miss the opportunity to know me or anyone, the whole story. There's much more to me than my physical appearance, and there's much more to me than this body. So please check your biases when you meet someone with a disability. Another thing I wish you would know about people with disabilities is that we may not want to discuss what's wrong with us or why we're in a wheelchair or what happened to us to have this disability. Some of us were born that way. Some of us were, injured or something happened to us. But that's a very personal thing to talk about. And not everyone wants to engage in that discussion, especially right off the bat. I've been in public places where people just come up to me randomly and say, "What's wrong with you?" At first that hurt, but now I like to say, "I'd like to tell you what's right with me." It's a really kind of sensitive topic for some people with disabilities, and it may not be your best icebreaker for getting to know people who are in wheelchairs or have other signs of disability. The third thing that I'd like you to know is please do not give us unsolicited medical advice when you first meet us, or if you really feel like you have something that you'd like to share with us that could help us. At least with me, speaking for myself, I'd rather have you ask permission or just say, "I'd like to share something with you that worked for me." And if you do that, I'm more likely to be receptive. I know that people have good intentions, but I've had people come up to me on public transportation, on the street, and tell me that I need to pray more, or that if I just took oil with brown sugar, that would cure me, or if I drank castor oil. Maybe that's true, but it's hard enough to navigate the world as it is without having people trying to tell you what to do. Our medical regime is sort of personal information, and just as you wouldn't ask someone about their sex life the first time you come up and meet them, you may not want to give them unsolicited medical advice either. The fourth thing is, please treat me with respect the way you would treat anyone else. Obviously, there are things I may not be able to do very easily for myself, like open the door or reach something off a shelf. And I don't mind people helping me with that. In fact, I really appreciate it. But some other things, like assuming that I'm fragile or that I'm somehow inept as a therapist, as a human being, that's not very respectful. And just as you would not want me to make those assumptions about you, please don't make them about me. Try to just treat me like any other human being. And last but not least, going along with the theme of this, not everyone with medical problems or physical limitations are the same. We didn't all get this way the same way. We don't have the same limitations even. And so when you see someone in the store having difficulty with something, it may be that they have a disability that you don't know about or that you weren't aware of. A lot of people with mental illness, such as PTSD, might have a very high startle reaction or might have difficulty regulating their emotions. And that's not the same as having physical limitations. And someone with physical limitations may be able to do some things or not others. You get the picture. So if you can avoid making assumptions about us and treat us just like regular human beings with care, kindness, and respect, I think that will go a long way to allowing us to get along better, to know each other better, and to have a better time together on this planet while we're here. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I wish you well. Thank you.